my advice to anyone that's starting an OPL or a pickup and delivery or a laundromat, I always say Rome wasn't built in a day.
It doesn't matter if it's your first business or you're trying to take your business to the next level. Like, there's that level of fear that you got to push through either way. So almost like
exactly
pushing through fear is almost like a skill that you have to develop by doing it, right? Even if you're running a successful operation and you still got to get after it.
Also, I think sometimes fear can make you push harder and make you more successful.
Well, I think there's two types of people in this world. There's thinkers and doers. I do it and then think about it.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jordan with the Laundromat Resource Podcast. This is show 225, and you know it. I'm pumped that you're here today because today we have a couple local legends on the show, Jodan and Kelli Reed. Jodan for the second time, Kelli premiere time on the podcast. And these guys have built quite the empire out there in Kentucky. So I know you're going to love this because they talk about way back in the very beginning when they first got into the industry, how they got in and how they've grown to the big empire that they have now, where they're running a bunch of laundromats and a pretty substantial pickup and delivery business. So if you're interested in scaling your laundromats or you're interested in growing a large pickup and delivery business, this is the episode for you because these guys spill the beans on what it takes. So without further ado, let's jump into it with Jodan and Kelli Reed. The legendary Jodan and Kelli Reed. How are you guys doing today?
Hey, Jordan.
Good to see you, Jordan.
How are you?
Oh, good to see you guys. I'm doing excellent right now because I'm getting to, I was just telling you how selfishly I do this because I just want to hang out with you guys. So I'm doing excellent because I'm getting to do it. Well, it's 40 degrees over there, you just said. So I think I'll stay here in Hawaii. Okay, so it warms up. So I can come like midday, maybe. Well, what does warm up to mean though?
It's weird. It's up and down, kind of like the stock market, up and down.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
You know, I remember a few Christmases ago, it was 80 degrees, and then the next day it was like 30. So that's welcome to Kentucky. You know, we're in the middle of the jet stream, so it'll go up and down, up and down. Summer stays pretty consistent, very hot and humid. That's the way I like it. But I'm already looking forward to spring. This is depressing for me personally.
I'm gonna start sending you Zillow links to houses out here in Hawaii with me because you look at the weather app and it's literally high of 83 and low of 77 every single day, give or take 1 degree all year round. So,
sending those.
Yeah. I'll start sending you over some stuff. I might be able to afford
a 300 square foot home in Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, Jodan, you've been on the podcast. I mean, it's been a long time, way too long. So let's not make that mistake again.
Episode 36.
Yeah. So go back and check that out if you haven't yet. It's one of the, genuinely, it's like one of the more popular ones for sure. Kelli, you did not grace us with your presence last time.
No,
and I did not realize what I was missing out on at that point in time. So we had to make sure you were here today. So thank you for taking the time to come on, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah. So give us just a little bit of background to you guys and then maybe we just start talking about your business a little bit and what you guys got going on because you got a pretty cool operation happening.
You want me to start?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Well, about 25 years ago today, I met Kelli and not.
Wait, hold on. Was it 25 years ago today or was it about 25 years ago today?
No, it was 25 years today.
She reminded me this morning, hey, do you realize that 25 years ago was I met her at Keeneland Race Course, Keeneland Horse Racing. And then we went out that night and then we've been together since. It's been
so began the empire.
Yes. It seems like yesterday, and it was less than 9 months later we started our business in Janitorial. We started a cleaning company with $1,500 in our pocket, and And then I started going door to door. Next thing you know, we had to start hiring staff. And next thing you know, then we started doing carpet cleaning. Then we had 10 carpet cleaning vans. And then and at the same time, they wanted laundry service. And before pickup and delivery got popular, we were doing pickup and delivery. But it was like the Wild West, right?
It was.
It was terrible.
It was written by hand and, trying to figure out, going to Google Maps, trying to figure out, what's the best route to do.
Was Google Maps around?
Well,
we did maps.
You probably had a Thomas guide or something.
Yeah. It was terrible because we would do a delivery, then we'd come back and wait, we're going right back to the same area. Why did we do that? So, there was no route software. There was nothing so easy. It's not like, like using the software we use today, like Curbside or anything like that. So now, fast forward, when we were doing that, we decided to get into the laundry business. We were together 2 years at the most, I believe, and we got our first laundromat. Mm-hmm. And then we've been, and we got married within 2 years. I guess we knew when we knew. We got married pretty much immediately. Yeah. I guess she's been putting up with me all these years.
What happened to me?
She fell and hit her head for sure.
And you took advantage. You're like, hurry, slip a ring on it while she's out. Yeah.
She was a registered nurse. She's sitting there as a registered nurse, and here I am talking her into getting a cleaning company because she came in and said these hospitals are so dirty, and I was like, well, let's open up a cleaning service, and it's just been, and we've never turned back. We've been working together over, I guess, 25 years.
25 years.
And it's just happened so quick. And then we got our first laundromat, and then we got another laundromat, then another laundromat. And then a few years ago, 4 years ago, we decided we were overwhelming all of our laundromats with pickup and delivery. So we were taken away from the self-serve customers. And Kelli goes, hey, Neil called us from stockbroker. From our real estate broker called us and said, hey, we have an opportunity for a property that's not on the market. You want to take a look? We went in there. I was like, I'm not interested in this. It was a dump. I mean, it was just.
But I was interested.
Yes, she's always interested.
I like the dumps.
Yes, and
well, that's why you married Jodan, right? Come on.
Yeah. So we put probably, about $500,000 into the place after spending several million on it. But now it looks brand new. It's a beautiful facility. And we had a vision. We put some washers and dryers in there. And then springboard to now we have a folder and an ironer. Mm-hmm. And then we're just, but at first we were really nervous. We were like, are we going to, it's funny when you take 9 locations and bring all the pickup and delivery to one location, like the facility we had, it looked really small. We were like, we aren't doing as much as we thought we were, even though all the shelves were filled up at the laundromats. But, you're talking about 2 or 3 shelves at each laundromat. And then when you do a commercial facility, 20,000 square feet, and you're like, these shelves look bare. What are we going to do? So it's like starting over again. We have to put our minds to work, start going out there, developing some relationships and letting people know what we do on the pickup and delivery aspect of things. And it's come up. It's doing pretty well. I'm happy. I'm pleased.
It's going really good. And my advice to anyone that's starting an OPL or a pickup and delivery or a laundromat, I always say Rome wasn't built in a day. So it's not going to happen overnight. Don't get frustrated. You just got to keep on beating the what do you call it? The pavement, and just keep going on. I mean, it's just not going to happen overnight. Yeah. No matter what you see, what advertisements you see, it's not passive. You can make it as passive as you possibly can, but I don't know of a business that's actually totally passive that I've been.
Oh, it's passive because I have her. I can just go sleep and everything gets done.
That's the real secret to make it passive.
But the funny part about that is I'm the impatient one. I'm very impatient, and she's patient. Like, I need it now. Let's get it now. And she's take a step back.
I think that's all.
Yeah.
Male genders.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's, That's me. So 2 for 2 here, at least, if nothing else.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I feel like we got the whole story and awesome episode. And no, I'm just kidding.
Okay. I'll see you later, Jordan.
So that episode's running when? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
That's called a sport.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like all you just did there was like open up 1,000 questions for me and give us like the overview that made me like need to know how you got here. So I'm really curious, like well, first of all, before I say any of that, I want to say this. I'm very honored that you're spending your 25-year meeting together anniversary with me and allowing me to be included in that. I'm very honored by that.
We're glad to be here.
Yes.
We picked this day for you, Jordan.
I appreciate that. I now see that that's the case.
Yeah. Actually, we just celebrate our wedding our wedding anniversary for the most part. That's all we really celebrate. But we just she recognized this day. I was like, do you realize what day? I was like, no.
This is the more important day. This is the more important day. And you're spending it with me. That's all that matters.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's go back now that that's out of the way. How important I am in your life. Let's go back to the janitorial company. I mean, like, I know, and I knew like, this is how you kind of forayed into business together and all that. But like starting a janitorial, like, first of all, that's like as random as starting a laundromat business or a laundry business, janitorial. And you kind of like alluded to how it got started, but how did you decide to like, okay, we're going to like full throttle this thing and we're going to turn it into an actual business? Is it just because, Joe Dan, you're a 0 to 100 guy? If you have an idea, you go for it? Or was this like a conscious decision? Like, hey, we could build this into a big business. Let's do it.
Right there.
Well, we knew. I didn't realize at that moment we were going to parlay it into laundromats and then to an OPL, but I did know. We just knew it would work, and you just have to beat the pavement. We started out. I think we made flyers. I think we spent $300 on flyers. Maybe it was $500. I don't remember exactly. And we just went to the neighborhoods and put them on the door. And soon our phones just started ringing. So it was pretty exciting.
And then we got up to where we were cleaning around 400 to 500 houses a month. Mm-hmm. Right? So we were just residential cleaning.
Yeah.
And then, and that's what prompted us to get into the laundry business, because all of our customers were asking us to leave the maids behind to do their laundry. And then Kelli came up with the bright idea. Well, we need to get a laundromat. We need to get a laundromat, or we need to get what we did at our office, we put washers and dryers in our office, and that wasn't working very well because all the laundry that was coming in, it wasn't, and then you're trying to pick up deliveries. So you're around the clock trying to do laundry, and it just wouldn't sustain. And then we were driving around one day and we found a laundromat that was closed down. It was completely empty. And I called the landlord and I said, hey, what about this place? I'd like to start this. And I didn't know anything about distributors. I mean, think about the internet back then, 25 years ago. I mean, I couldn't find anybody. I didn't know what a distributor was. So we're going in this thing blind. But we ran it like a business, the way we run our janitorial company. And, speaking of which, when I say we clean 500 houses a month, and then we were cleaning 60 carpets a day, we don't do any residential cleaning at all now. It's all commercial cleaning. So our commercial cleaning is huge, but we do not do any residential cleaning. I mean, I can't imagine all those keys we had to keep up with. I mean, now everybody's got a code to get in their house. But could you imagine the walls of keys and then if you misplace the key, you misplaced a key, can't find a key, you have to pay to get their doors.
We actually did that once. So we had to pay to rekey everything, which we should have. Our employee lost the key, but yeah. And plus with commercial, you have those 3-year, we do 3-year contracts. So it's a minimum of 3 years. So you're going to have that work for 3 years. You don't get that with a residential client. So they could be here tomorrow and gone the next.
Yeah. And Correct. If you were doing residential today, for sure be doing short-term rental, cleaning, which is fast turnaround and short notice time a lot and all that too.
Yeah. So it can be a pain, definitely.
Yeah. Well, and you know, what's interesting about your story and, you know, as you talking about building this, you know, janitorial business and having the patience and Rome's not built in a day and watching your business evolve from growing to all these residential to now not having any residential and going to commercial. And then you talked about, you know, and just so everybody's on the same page, OPL is on-premise laundry, right? It's not open to the public, but going and buying that building and building that out. You know, and one thing that you were kind of saying there, I talk to people all the time who are trying to buy their first laundromat, right? And it's so nerve wracking and it's so like can be overwhelming. And a lot of people can't get over the hump to actually buy that business because there's a lot of fear there and anxiety. But I guess kind of what I was hearing, and I've felt this myself, at least if it's not if I wasn't hearing correctly, but like, it doesn't matter if it's your first business or you're trying to take your business to the next level. Like there's that level of fear that you got to push through either way. So almost like
exactly
pushing through fear is almost like a skill that you have to develop by doing it, right? Buy that first business, start that first business, put the flyers out, invest, you know, a third of your $1,500 in flyers and try to like drum up business. Right. Like it doesn't go away, even if you're running a successful operation and you still got to get after it.
Also, I think sometimes fear can make you push harder and make you more successful.
Well, I think there's two types of people in this world. There's thinkers and doers. I do it and then think about it. So you can sit. I mean, I have people calling me all the time and calling her and, hey, well, I'm thinking about getting in the laundromat business, or I found a laundromat, and then they call me back 6 months later. Well, I haven't done anything yet. I'm like, well, you know, you could have already been there, you know, 8 months ago and been well on your way. I mean, I think a lot of you don't believe everything you think, right? So I believe in taking big risks, and I guess you can fail on some of those risks. I mean, we've opened we've owned a thrift store. If you like to be stolen from, that's a great business to be in because everybody's going to steal from you. We've owned.
I love to be stolen from personally.
Thrift store. We owned an aqua massage where you go in these big water beds and the people come in and aqua massage. And we owned a fitness center. I mean, so dealing with that, that was the worst.
A lot of egos.
A lot of egos to deal with. And then, you know, we own chalets in Gatlinburg and, you know, and some Airbnbs. But those are the easiest because it's all hands off because we have a management company take care of all that. But yeah, like to allude to your last question, you know, just going in and doing it. I mean, you can sit here and just think all day long, and you're never going to. Here's a funny part. You can think of everything that you think's going to come up, and then once you close, then you have 100 more things to think about because it's going to hit you at once. Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, I didn't think about that. Right? It's kind of like, and every time someone's stealing from you, like in the laundromat, they're thinking, okay, we have a card. You know, now it's all card. Oh, they're not going to be able to steal from us. Oh, they're thinking of another level.
There's a will, there's a way. Trust me.
They have a card scam. There's all kinds of ways. Yeah.
Yeah. I've always felt like I'm playing a game of cat and mouse in my laundromats, right? Of like, people think of a way to like ruin my business or steal from me or, you know, whatever. Like even just like charging the phone and I'll like, okay, I'll solve that problem. Okay. That's not going to happen anymore. And then there's like something else. Right. And it becomes some other creative way to, you know, make my life miserable sometimes. Right.
I could write a whole book on theft.
Yeah, I know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. So, yeah, I love that too. And, you know, this is actually time. I'm really glad we're having this conversation right now because just yesterday I was talking to my wife and I was like, just like lamenting the fact that I don't have the skill. I was telling her, I feel like people have the skill where they can sit down and make a plan and execute it and things go according to plan. And like, I was like, I think I just don't have that skill set because I can try to think about stuff, but once I do it, like I'm so far like Laundromat Resource is a great example. I'm so far away from where I thought I was going with Laundromat Resource that there's no way I could have sat down and planned this out. Right. Same with the laundromats, like all that stuff. Right. It's just, I was just telling her, like, I don't have the skill set, but I love what you said is like, you know, do first. And I've become like a very big proponent of learn while doing. I used to be like, learn by doing. Right. And now I'm like, learn while doing, like, go do it. And then while you're doing it, go watch Joe, Dan, and Kelly's YouTube channel and learn how they're doing their business, right? And like implement those things, because that's how you really, if you want to supercharge your learning, you learn while doing. I think for sure.
No, I totally agree. So. It's like I couldn't tell you what a water when I started in laundromats example. I couldn't tell you what a water valve was. I remember I paid this guy $80. This was 20 years ago. $80 to come. And I had some kind of error code and it wouldn't drain. And he came and opened up the drain valve and got a brawl wire out. And I was like, that's $80. And so then
you want to learn real quick how to do the small.
You better know you better know how to do the small repairs, because then they can add up quickly. And so and that can be another business within itself, you know, a service business. And so, you know, and you know, calling a distributor to get your machine serviced, it's going to cost you a lot of money. So you need to come up with the resources, the correct resources in order to fix those machines. So you don't break the bank. You know, you're going to hurt the bottom line of your business.
And a lot of times they're not near you. So you're going to have to wait for them to come 4 hours away or 2 hours away. So then you've got that machine sitting idle. So every day it's sitting idle. There goes money down the drain.
And reputation.
And your reputation, yeah. People don't want to come into a laundromat with out of service tags everywhere. They just don't want to do it.
No matter how new or old. You can have an old laundromat next door and everything working, and then you have a new laundromat next door. It's beautiful, but half the machines are working. They're going to go to the old one because that guy looks like he cares more.
Yep. And I know that's a really common, you know, if you're living specifically like in the Midwest a lot, like your distributor is not necessarily on your back door, right? In California, we've got distributors like living in our backyards, but we have the same problem, not because it takes 4 hours for them to get there, but because they've got a backlog of, you know, 40 other laundromats they get to before yours. So we still have machines that sit. So, you know, that $80 that it took to remove the bra wire, first of all, it's not $80 for a visit anymore. It's those prices get jacked up.
They'll charge you what, $225
$225 trick charge, and you know,
and you know they mark up all their parts and everything's marked up, you know, and they have to make money as well. Totally. But those hidden costs, Kelly, that you mentioned those are real costs, right? Like the downtime where the machines aren't turning, they're not making you money. And then Jodan too, like that reputation there your reputation is everything, right? Whether you're creating content online or you're running a janitorial business or a laundromat business or whatever, like that reputation it's worth real dollars to your pocket, right? And that's why like Google reviews are so important, because that's reputation. And you start losing that reputation for keeping machines rolling. I mean, your laundromat pretty quickly turns into a zombie mat there, where people don't want to come there.
I mean, you can't make a first impression twice. So we're of the thinking, I don't know if these are regular customers. It doesn't matter. You have to think about each customer. This is the first time they're coming into your laundromat, and that's the way we think. Because if their first impression is that half of your machines are broken, they're not coming back.
Right.
I love that.
Like one thing that we learned during COVID, you know, it was 6 feet apart for everything. We've learned even after COVID's over, people still actually like to be 6 feet apart from, you know, so we've rearranged how our folding tables are, our seating, because people just like to be away.
We've eliminated a bulkhead at one store. Yes. Just to create more space for seating and folding. We had people thanking us, and our business, our revenue went up because of that. It's amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
Less is more. Less is more. I mean,
yeah. Well, and that is like, paying attention to what your customers want and what they're looking for in a space and creating a space for them, right? Like stuffing and listen, I'm going to just acknowledge like some markets, like if you're in New York or you're in San Francisco or something, you're probably just going to have to stuff your store because your spaces tend to be smaller and stuff like that.
Right.
If you can create space for people, like that feels a lot better. And that feeling that these customers get when they come to your store is what makes them come back or not come back, right? If they feel like your store is dirty, they're not coming back. They feel frustrated because they're playing slots when they put quarters in your machine and they're not sure if it's going to work, or they swipe their card and they're not sure if it's going to work. They're going to go somewhere else, right? Like
they will.
That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a customer service driven industry, period.
Yeah.
So, and that's, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it seems obvious, right? But that has not been how the industry has treated our business, until I'd say recently. Like that is making a rise, like focus on customer service and customer experience is making a rise in our industry, which I think is a good thing all the way around. But you said it very casually, but it's not a common practice, I would say. Even still, like there's a lot more people doing it and focusing on that now, but even still, I'd say it's not common to focus on the customer experience in an intentional way.
Very true. And it's amazing the changes we've seen in this industry just 10 years ago to now. And just from our podcast, 36 to now. I mean, it's amazing just from 5 years ago to now. I mean, the industry has changed so much, but I think most industries are changing. People are time poor. People want their time. They want to outsource their laundry. It's kind of like they used to cut grass 20 years ago. Everybody cut their own grass. Now everybody has a grass cutting service. Well, we do. I'm not going to get out there on a lawnmower. I mean, what's my time? I mean, I value my time. And then why would we want to do 5 loads of laundry in our house when we can send it off? And, time is money. So I think people are looking at that. So I don't know.
I think the average is, when I was doing some research, that the average family of 4 will spend about 6 hours a week doing laundry. 6 to 8 hours. And that's your entire Saturday, your entire Sunday. So, I mean, it's easy. Just put it on the porch, let us do it, or let, pick up a delivery service do it and get your day back.
Yeah.
Time.
That's huge. I agree. I mean, I think we are going that way. I think there's people who don't think that, but I do think we are going that way. So we'll see though. Yeah. It is interesting. I think there have been a lot of changes happening, probably more in the last 2 years than the previous 2 decades combined, I would say.
I agree.
Well, Jordan, have you ever gone to a movie and it's a terrible movie? I don't want my money back. I want my time back.
Yeah.
Right. I could care less about the money. Where'd my time go wasting 2 hours to watch this dog movie, Terrible.
Yeah. I'm curious. I mean, since you brought it up, maybe we could dig into it just a little bit. Like, what changes have you seen in the last 10 years or the last 5 years?
Automation.
What changes are you seeing? Yeah.
Well,
automation, AI, card.
A lot of laundries are going to coinless laundries. There was a debate about that. Some people think, oh no, all coin, all card. Some people think hybrid. So most
where
of our
are you guys
stores,
at on that? Yeah, where are you guys at?
I wish we were all card. We have 2 stores that do take quarters, but I let the quarters fill up so much. Kelli goes, "Are you ever going to go and get those quarters?" I say, "I don't care. Make them
just get a card at that point.
Tell them to get a card. Tell them to get a card." So I will go empty the quarters maybe once a month, and they're so full that I can hardly get the box out, but I don't care because I'm trying to push them to card. But I will empty it, but I don't like to. If you want to talk about a video, I could do. You could pull that thing out so full you can't get it out of the box, but I could care less. So, but most people, they appreciate the card. I mean, we can't go to concerts now with cash. You can't go to a football game with cash. I can't go anywhere, it seems like. So what makes laundromats any different? People don't want to get quarters. They really don't. So when like the old school people say, "Oh, you have to have quarters. You have to have quarters." I was thinking that for a minute, and I was like, well, I don't want to be an old school person. I want to be a forward thinker. I want to get on the cutting edge of technology. I want to be on the front end of everything that's going. And that's one reason why we try to hire a lot of youth, because I don't want to be complacent in what we do. You know, we talk about what we've seen in the last 10 years. I like to feel like we're on the cutting edge of everything that's been happening, because if like even the machines to automation to, I don't know, just you name it, everything.
Yeah, well, even like curbside, like you're not doing the handwritten tickets anymore. You're not planning your own routes anymore.
And it automatically runs the credit card. So I'm not, going, oh my gosh, I need to run this credit card or my staff. So it's actually, and the automation, having a folder or having an ironer. It's just allowed us to have less employees, but we're doing a better job because everything is uniform. So everything you put through the folder is folded the same way, is ironed the same way. So everything is uniform. It's kind of like if you go to McDonald's and you order a Big Mac, whether it's in Hawaii or Kentucky, they're going to make it the same way.
Yes, exactly. And it's like when we went to that clean show, we didn't go there with an intention to buying anything. And then we walked by this espresso booth and we bought that steam spotter.
Yeah.
And so it's not here yet. I guess they're building it, or it's on the front end. But we said, well, let's get that immediately, because that we could really utilize that, because the spotter we have, I was getting ready to have to run air to it. I have to put a steam boiler on it. And then they had this just self-contained, and it would do any spot. And so we were like, we're on that. Let's go ahead and get it. Then they had the robotic arms that are folding. I want to fire myself. That's the point.
That's exactly the point.
Sit back. Yeah. As much automation as I can possibly get, I'm all for.
Right. Yeah. And I'm not wanting to replace employees. I'm wanting to make all of our jobs more efficient. He probably would. Well, but, we love our team members.
Yeah, totally. And, make them like, if you could do 10 times the volume with the same number of employees, because you're utilizing folding robots and, software and this, the presso spotter and, the ironer and the fold, like if you didn't have the ironer and the folder, which I want to talk about, by the way, but if you didn't have those and your employees were having to do that by hand, you'd have to have a lot more employees and you'd be less productive. Right.
Yeah.
You would.
Definitely.
So it's not, so it's not even about necessarily like replacing employees. Like we're probably always going to need, at least for a while here, going to need people doing the stuff. But if you can make them 10 times more productive by putting the right tools in their hands. And this is what humans have been doing forever, right? Like
that's right.
From the time we made the wheel or picked up a hammer or whatever, like that's the whole point of these tools, is to make us more.
Right. And for employee retention.
Yes.
You can retain your employees because it's not, it's not putting wear and tear on their body every day. They're not doing repetitive motions, folding these big, heavy comforters or these big sheets or whatever. It's much easier on their body. So it's enabled us to retain employees better.
And they love using the machines. They were intimidated.
Intimidated at first, but now they all fight. I want that machine. So.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you had this janitorial business. You're like, hey, we need to start doing laundry for people. You found that vacant building and you that's how you kind of forayed into laundry. Is that right?
No. That's how we into our OPL. We already had 9.
Not the first laundromat come with coin laundry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, are you talking about like
the very first,
first laundromat?
That was actually in. We had bought an office building, and we actually put a small OPL in the basement of our office, of our first office that we purchased. I think we had 4 washers
and 4 dryers from H.H. Gregg, because I didn't know what a distributor was.
That's awesome.
H.H. Gregg. And then and they're not in business anymore either. Gosh, shows you how old we are. And then we were driving around one day and we saw that empty laundromat. It was empty. And then that was called Commonwealth Coin Laundry.
Right.
That's what we named it. And then soon after we switched everything, splash them out laundry. So,
right.
Yeah. Was that one that you found? Was that one open to the public, like an actual laundromat, or did you just? Okay.
Yes, it was open to the public.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was rocking. Yes.
Yeah. And
was
then
it?
we were able to sell that laundromat and parlay it into additional laundromats and gain more stores.
And they kept the name Commonwealth Coin Laundry. We let them keep it. We tore us up, and Kelly goes, well, we have to come up with another name, because then we found another laundromat. We put half that money into redoing that one, and then we got another one with less than 2 months later, and it's just been a cumulative
snowball
effect. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dang, that's crazy. Has it been challenging? Like, because you guys still have your janitorial business, right?
We do.
Oh, yeah.
We do.
I mean, you're running that. You've had all these other businesses. You've got laundromat. Like, is that challenging being in multiple?
Actually, I would say the more employees we have, it actually makes it easier. We cross-train our employees from our janitorial to the laundromats. So if any of our current employees want additional hours and we need additional hours for large orders that we might get unexpectedly, or simply if an employee calls in sick, or you terminate someone, or someone is, quits, it's actually made our lives a lot easier.
Yeah, and I've quit a few times, Jordan.
He's only about 15.
I've quit. I said, I'm done. I quit. And then I come back 15 minutes later. Okay, I'm back.
I'm back, ready to go. Kelly probably wish you quit.
Yeah.
We're good. She's like, just let me handle it, man. That's funny.
That's a great part, because she takes care of most of the personnel, because she's a lot more patient than me. So it's good. She's got it's good.
We would have 0 employees if it were.
Well, because I'm there. I'm just
kidding.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I know you're kind of kidding about that, but genuinely, like, you guys have like complementary skill sets, right? I'm sure that has a ton to do with why you guys are as successful as you are, and I was just talking with another couple who own laundromats. I was doing an interview for the podcast with them, and he goes out, finds the deals, analyzes the deals. He comes up with the ideas. He's the visionary. And then she kind of runs the operations, the personnel, keeps everything organized, and is more of like the integrator stuff. We're talking about like the book Rocket Fuel, which is basically like, hey, if you're stuck because you have all these big ideas and you're overwhelmed and stressed because you can't get them done, or you can't retain employees, or you can't keep a consistent product or service because you get bored and you're off to the new thing or whatever, you need a Kelly to come in and help, integrate that. And then when you get those two together, it's like, you've got the vision and you've got somebody to bring the vision to life, and it's like rocket fuel for your business. Now, all of a sudden you can own in multiple industries. You can own these massive, cleaning companies, this massive OPL, plus a bunch of laundromats and a thrift store and an aqua massage and yada, 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 Airbnbs, right? You'd be all over the place because Joe Dan's cooking up these crazy ideas, and Kelly's like, all right, let's make it happen,
Well, it's funny how when she sees a place or something, like if we see a laundromat or something shut down, like the building, I'm like, I don't want anything to do with that, because I'm thinking, one part of me says, she wants it, and she's visioned how she wants everything. And guess who has to go do it?
Yeah.
That's one reason I was like, okay.
To work. Yeah.
Yes, I got to go these contractors.
You're the muscle, man. You're the muscle.
Yeah. But there's speaking of laundromats, I feel personally where people mess up is not becoming their own general contractor when they're building these things out. If they hire a GC, they're going everything through there. See, so that's why I've through the years have developed relationships with drywall people. I know plumbers, I know electricians. And so if you can be your own GC, you're going to save, you could save possibly 40% of the entire construction cost because of what the GC would charge you for every trade that you need to build a laundromat, especially for the infrastructure, Yeah,
that's huge. That's massive. Well, okay, let me back up. For your laundromats, have you mostly like purchased them? Have you built any out? Other than like the OPL, are you like purchasing them turnkey? Are you purchasing them and redoing them? What's kind of the mix been look like?
Well, how it's been, we usually find them that's dilapidated. That's what we look for. Shoals. We call them S-holes. That's what we've always called them. So we've always called them shoals. So when we see a shoal, we say, oh, that's so beautiful. And now everybody in the industry calls them zombie mats, but me and Kelli we've always called everything we see a shoal. And she'll call me and say, I see a beautiful shoal. I say, oh God, please no, not today.
You want it horrible.
You want it horrible. And so for the most part, we've been lucky. We haven't purchased any laundromats. We usually just have taken over what people have and they basically almost abandoned them, or they're just hanging on by the edge. They're just barely hanging on. And so I think it's very important to talk to one bit of advice I can give everybody out there. So is when someone's saying they want $70,000 for a laundromat real quick, right? So I want $70,000 for this laundromat. Well, make sure, talk to the landlord first, because they might not have a lease. They might have a 30-day notice to get out, or a 60-day. They're waiting for them to get out, and they're waiting to turn that into something else. So if you talk to the landlord first and explain to the landlord, hey, I'm willing to give you a 15-year lease with a 5-year option, or 10 with 2 5s, or whatever it is. And then you can negotiate with them some of the construction costs that you'll need to get in on your LOI to get in. So I think that's, and then so for the most part, we did build out a brand new one. We built our a big store on Reynolds Road, and I'll never forget the distributor came in and said, oh, these numbers don't look good. What was it? The demographics don't look good. I said, don't worry about demographics. I'm not worried about demographics. We're going to build the store out. It's the top producing store we have. Because I believe, and Kelli believes, we were talking, if you build a nice big store and have a lot of space, I think, what is that store? 5,000 square feet, something like that. So we built, and then we have 1,000 square feet in the back, which we had pushed all the way back. But we negotiated so well on the LOI that it was minimal cost. Really, if you're smart enough and you can negotiate well enough, you build a brand new infrastructure with the landowners in their pocket for the most part. But for one reason is we saw the bathrooms had to be in the back of the building. Well, they weren't in the back of the building, but we wanted them in the back of the building. So I'm going to give you a quick example. I said, yeah. So I said on my LOI, I said, well, I want the bathrooms in the back of the building. I need you guys to build the bathrooms, or at least plumb them. But I knew that if they did that, that would run the water lines all the way down the middle, and then I could branch off to each bulkhead. You see? And so I think our plumbing only cost us out of pocket on that was about $24,000?
24.
When it would have cost probably $150,000 in plumbing alone. So it's thinking about if you walk in a place, you really need to think it through before you write your LOI, because you can ask for the moon. They might settle for things you'll never, they settled for LED lights. They gave us gas lines. They gave us
automatic door.
I mean, we asked for things that we would never expect them to say yes to.
They paid for the flooring.
They paid for the flooring. We asked for it. They just said, okay, because they saw that we were going to be there for 20 years. And
yeah.
Well, and if you think about it from like a landlord perspective, right, is like, because people are like, what do you mean? Like, why would a landlord just give you that money, right? Yeah. But if you think about it from a landlord perspective, right, commercial real estate, it's valued based on a cap rate, and that cap rate is based on their net income, just like our businesses are valued on our net income, right? Well, if they've got a long-term stable tenant coming in that's going to produce, going to be paying rent, it actually drives up the value of their property really quickly, and especially if it's in like a good area and stuff, their cap rate's pretty low. It's a 5, 6, 7% cap rate or whatever. Even just, a couple $100 extra a month could be worth 6 figures to them. So if they say, hey, we'll give you 200,000, 400,000, whatever to help you or do that much work for you to help you get started, you're like, whoa, why would they do that? Well, it's because on the back end, when you're in there and you're operating, you're paying full rent and everything, they're actually getting 7 figures worth of value out of that. Right. So that's where it makes sense. And that's why you can ask for the moon, and sometimes you'll get it. And sometimes you won't, but sometimes you'll get it. So that's smart. Yeah. That's real smart.
It depends on, and it also depends on who you're dealing with a lot of times, and which shopping center, and who would like. They were really excited to have us in there, but it's funny because when we went in there, we couldn't get the lease at first because Joanne Fabrics was in there, and they didn't allow a laundromat in their shopping center in their lease. So we had to go to Joanne's. Well, the landlord did. They said, hey, we really want these guys in here. Can you guys release that? And so they signed off to let us in there. And of course, 3 years later, Joanne's is out of business anyway. But I can't believe that. But now, I don't know. That's crazy that somebody would have in their lease not to allow a laundromat.
We did that to ourselves. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we did do that too. Yes. The industry did that to themselves. Yes. A lot of laundromats have a very bad reputation. I mean, we're big on lighting, security, and, just customer service, period. Yeah. It could be bad.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Kelly. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. I was going to say,
she's just to me.
In essence, what you all were going to say.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's on us for having a bad reputation, right? And like I run across these like dilapidated laundromats or shut down laundromats a lot where the landlords won't let somebody come in another laundromat because they don't want a laundromat anymore because the previous owner like let homeless people hang out, and it was like a headache for them, right? And their return on headache was a bad ratio for them, right? And it was affecting other tenants, which affects the value of their property, right? And so they're like, no, we don't want to deal with laundromats anymore. So you got to come in and sort of sell your vision of like, I know what you're thinking about when you think of laundromats, and I know what the last owner was like. Here's our vision of what this is going to be like. And here's, especially for you guys, like we've done this before, look at what we've done, and this is what we want to do in your place.
That is
right. It has. With our last store, we didn't even have to sell it to them. They wanted us in there regardless.
Because they knew who we were, and they knew what we've done in this community, and they wanted us there. That was, and then we have people calling us all the time. Are you interested in opening in this shopping center? And I'm getting kind of tired. I don't know if I want to continue to build laundromats, but I mean, I will if the opportunity's right. We're a little bit picky now. We were going to build in Louisville, but the guy wouldn't call us back because he didn't want a laundromat in there that just shut down.
Right. And once again, they had done it to themselves. They completely eliminated the laundry out of the shopping center.
Yep.
Yeah. And that was a shame because, the infrastructure was there, and it would have been a great opportunity for us to do that. But, they wanted to go in a totally different direction. Yeah. And I get that.
Yeah. Which you can't blame them. I mean,
no, I don't. I don't blame them.
I think our reputation is beginning to shift, like as an industry, right? It's beginning to shift. We're starting to modernize. We're starting to see that, oh, hey, we could reinvest in our businesses and it's going to cost us some money, but we're going to make a boatload of money on the back end because customers are starved for a decent, they have to be great, like a decent laundry experience, right? Like they've been putting up with garbage for so long. And when people think of laundromats, they're not thinking of splash them out laundry. They're thinking of the flickering, the laundromats before you took them over, right? That's what they're thinking of.
With the bars on the windows.
Flickery lights.
Half the machines out.
You've got a couple of mice in the corner,
Somebody's sleeping in the back. Yeah,
it's bad. That's isn't that the truth? And that's the beautiful thing about what's happened. I think I blame social media too, because it's like, okay, I have a channel, you have a channel. We're constantly talking about laundromats, and we're constantly talking bad about the ones who are doing a crappy job. The the shoals out there. We're talking bad about them. And so they're not going to start a channel or start displaying what they have. And so the people who are seeing what we're doing, what you're doing, what everybody else is doing, who's an influencer, they're saying, hey, well, I'd love to have a laundromat, because they're not looking at what they used to be. They're seeing what we're doing now. And they want to be in the business because we make it look fun. It is fun, actually. I like it. If you're not going to a dump every day, it can be fun, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally. And, it's, I think, obviously like the social media thing comes with pros and cons, but I think right now, at least the pros are massive for our business, because there is a lot of pressure on our industry to raise our level here. And it's because of like channels like yours where, you guys are running awesome operations, and then you're just showing people like what you're doing.
Right.
And, and then, people coming on the podcast and saying, here's how I run my business. Here's the struggles I've had, but here's, the good, the bad, the ugly. I'd say the one downside, which I think you guys do a good job of avoiding, but the one downside is it's really flashy to see, quarters, buckets of quarters and wads of cash. And for the message to come across that you're just getting all this stuff and it's easy. Right.
Yeah. Like my quarter collection today, and which is, it's fun. It's easy on the eyes to watch, but I think people, when you do that, if you're doing that, show your numbers so people will really understand what you're doing and how you're making what you're making. But if you're just going to show me that you're dumping quarters all day long, that's not really showing me what you're making. I don't know. But there's some.
What it takes to get all those quarters too, right? Like the quarters don't just show up. Like you had to go make a deal. You had to go take a laundromat that's already failed and make it successful. Like that's not easy to do.
Yeah, you've got to change its reputation.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen overnight. We figure 6 months to really start seeing a difference. It's not going to happen overnight. And, I've talked to some new laundromat owners that, are really down, and, I try to explain to them, it doesn't happen overnight. So, in their case, I wish they would have sought, consulting or some type
beforehand.
With you. Yeah. It's like, it's like they just don't see, they just jump in. They think they're going to make $1 million because they're watching all these channels.
Right.
And that's
like I had a lady call me and she's like, yeah, I see you have a dog wash, attached to one of your stores. She's like, I want to open a laundromat just so I can have a dog wash. I'm like, listen, your idea is probably not a good idea. And I explained to her, and she didn't realize the equipment cost and, all these things. And she's like, equipment really costs that much? I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's going up every day. It's amazing. And don't think you're going to get such a great interest rate. And then, some of these places you're prime plus one.
Or two.
So
or two. Yeah, no, it's I mean, I think one of the big beefs I have right now is that, kind of everybody like across the board, not just in our industry, but across the board, when COVID hit and we had like the supply issues and all that stuff, prices went up. But in our industry, when the supply issues were resolved, nothing came down.
Nothing came
back
down.
Yeah. Right.
In fact, I think it kept going up.
Yeah, it's only been going up even since then. So we had this there's always been going up, right? The steady rise, but then we had this big bump and then we're back to the rise. But that's like the hidden killer of like those inflation years that we had, right? Where inflation was high. It's not necessarily only that inflation was high for a couple of years, right? That hurts, but it's then that's the new baseline now. And so it just kind of compounds. We're not going at 3% a year. We've kicked it up to here and now we're going 3% or whatever the case is. Right. And the same thing with the prices in our industry, which is, it's tough. That's one beef I have. I know costs have gone up for everybody, but that's one beef I have right now.
Yeah. You have to think of it. So if you're spending $1 million on a laundromat, don't think you're going to make $1 million. You're not. You're just not. I mean, a good laundromat, you can maybe bring in $500,000 a year of gross, but but look at all the payments you're going to have to make along the way. You might get a little bit, but we usually try to put it right back in the business. Now, we've been in it for so long, we do okay. But I couldn't imagine starting a brand new one right now today and spending. I mean, I've seen people spend $2-3 million on a laundromat, and I mean, how long is it going to take to get the return on your investments? What's it, 7 to 10 years? And then it's time to retool.
It's getting tougher. Like, you're having to be like, part of it is that there's more savvy investors coming in,
yes,
and people are starting to operate their businesses better and stuff, but you're also kind of having to be more like if
yes.
I was getting in now, the way that I got in the first, I don't think I could have recovered.
I saw your story. I don't know if you could have.
I don't know if I could have.
Like, and everything else.
Wasn't that on Christmas?
That's Christmas Eve. Yeah. So all kinds of, I'm sure you guys have a ton of these crazy stories too.
Oh yeah.
But it is getting tougher out there to make it. And I barely hung on, but go ahead.
But I think at the end of the day, I think if you work your business and don't let your business work you, I think you'll do well. I truly do. And keep on having fun and having a smiling face walking out the door. I just say, you might have a road bump or two, speed bump or two, but who cares? Roll with it.
Yep.
I do love the business. I think it's fun. And Jordan, I'll tell you another thing about this business. I've met all my friends in this business. I don't have any friends, but the laundry business is unreal. I mean, I've made so many friends and colleagues and people I respect in this business. It's unreal. I mean, there's so. I wish I had these resources today when we started.
Yes. Yeah.
I would have probably 80, 90, 100 laundromats. If I started the way I did now, I can't imagine how many laundromats we would have. But, I'm content in what we have. Well, I'm never content. I'm just, I'm happy with what we have. She's always looking. She's like, "Are you ready to do something else?" I was like, "No."
Well, I just don't think, for me, I don't want to get complacent. I'm always looking for that next opportunity. And that's what, I would say to any laundromat owner, don't get complacent, whether you have 1 store, 5 stores, 10 stores. Do not get complacent. Keep your stores up. Put money back in your stores, or you're not going to get the money back out of your stores when you are ready to sell and retire.
Yeah, and we're painting them all right now. We're doing, I was looking at bulkhead covers and I got kind of disgusted. And so she's getting new bulkhead covers. We're just constantly making sure the stores look nice. You can become complacent.
You can.
Easily. And when we redid all our floors, it's crazy. It's fun stuff.
And you would, just by redoing your floors, it makes your entire store up to date. I mean, you walk in, you see these beautiful floors.
Well, floors make the building and corners make the floor. That's cleaning. That's what I always said in cleaning.
I like that.
That's my cleaning thing. When we walk in, I would say, floor looks good. Floors make the building, but how these corners look. So clean the corners.
I like that.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, I also want to say the opposite is true, right? Like, I've seen people who've retooled their stores, put paint on the walls, but didn't do their floors. And it brings down the level of your laundromat too. It's like both. It works both ways.
Yeah. And people, drop their laundry on the floor and they're like, and then they look and they're like, "Oh my God, that's gross."
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to drop their clean laundry on a dirty floor? It's gross. Yeah. And have plenty of carts for your customers so they can put their laundry in the cart.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're out there and you're about to drop $500,000 plus on new machines, do your floors at the same time. Otherwise, your floors are just going to look worse.
I agree, 100%. Yeah. Yes, I agree. If you're going to spend an extra $10,000 or whatever it is, $30,000, get your nice floors. Yeah, get them done. Get them looking nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to delve just a little bit into. When did you guys make the make the leap to get your folder and your iron. I mean, there's not too many people who have operations big enough to have these. And if you haven't seen these, you're listening to this or watching this, you haven't seen these folders before and these ironers, these are like serious pieces of equipment here that you've got. It's not something you're dropping into your everyday laundromat here. Probably taking the whole aisle of my first, 1,500 square foot laundromat, be going the whole way. But
yeah,
we actually decided to get our folder when we were building our OPL. Even though we didn't have as much business for it that we needed, we decided we were going to go into it and just do it all at once. And so that's what we did. And we actually got the ironer, about a year later, year and a half later. So that we wanted to grow into. But with the folder, we got it before we even were completed with our OPL.
Yes. It's worked out. It's worked out nice. People talk about space, and when you're talking about pickup and delivery, the most important part is storage. And that's what people seem to, they look, okay, we need these washers, dryers, folders, ironers. Well, where are you putting the product? Where are you storing the product? Yep. And so when you're bringing in customers' clothes or customers' linens or whatever it may be, if you don't have enough shelving or enough storage to put those items away, you may not be able to get an ironer. So you need a bigger facility. So we're lucky we have a big enough facility that we have plenty of shelving, plenty of storage to be able to have an ironer or a folder. Now we're not, it's funny because you have these big plants with the tunnel washers, like Cintas, Advantage Linen, and all these places. and then you have us, and then there's several people trying to do what we're doing, and they're doing very well at it. And then you have the laundromats. So we're kind of like in that little gray area where, where do you go for help? So it's like when we first started our laundromat, where do we go for help? There's nowhere to go to help because I'm not going to go to the big tunnel washer guys because they look at us like, now we're doing 700,000 pounds a week. And if I do 50,000 pounds a week, yes, I'm kicking butt, right? And we're not chasing pennies, right? They're at 40, 50 cents a pound where we're going to stay true to our $2.19 a pound, no matter what, or whatever it may be. And so that's the difference. And so we're kind of in that, I mean, you have the laundromat and then you have the laundromat and OPL. And so then when you branch off from the laundromat and you only have the OPL, so now you are a new business within the business. So there's that little area, but you can do the same thing. I've seen a lot of people building laundromats and they have their commercial center in the back. Right. And the biggest thing me and Kelli see in those facilities is storage. Where are they putting all the linen? Where are they putting all the customer owned goods? Where are they putting all these items to deliver back or to take in? And that's when you have to get storage bins on the outside if you're able to do so, depending on where you're located, if you can even get a storage bin.
True.
So those things you really need to think about before advancing to an ironer or a folder. But the ironer and folder has been a godsend. Thanks to her, she made me get it. Well, made me install it. Help install it.
Carry it in on your back and then hook it all
basically.
Up. Yeah. Well, it is interesting because you are kind of in that little sort of in between area. Are your who's like? Can you give me like an example of like who's like a common customer, like a genre of like, is it hotels, restaurants, residential?
We
not a large hotel.
Well, we do like the smaller boutique hotels, 30, 40, 50 rooms. We also do emergency work for the larger hotels if their machines go down, whatnot. We've done that several times. But we do massage centers. Here in Kentucky, horses, as you know, are very prominent. So we specialize in equine laundry. So we actually will go all over Kentucky with our box truck. We just picked up 240 horse blankets.
Yes.
So we'll launder those, we'll waterproof them, and then we also repair the horse blankets as well. So you get a big box truck of horse blankets, that adds up really quick. And our facility, we're fortunate enough to where we can separate all of our dirty laundry away from our clean laundry in a separate room. So we don't have to worry about cross-contamination of whatever type of laundry is coming in that's dirty.
Yeah.
But, we do everything from beauty salons. I can tell you, we really don't turn much down. There are some things we will turn down, but really we'll try to make it work for the company.
Yeah, it's like we try to stay in around. We don't want to commit to like a 200-room hotel. We could sustain it, but we don't want to put all our eggs in one basket with one customer, and that can hurt you. We've done that in the janitorial company before, where we had this huge customer. I'll tell you, Toyota Manufacturing, for example. We were cleaning there, and contracts up, and we have all these employees, nowhere to put them. But luckily, we had so many different small accounts that we were able to place everybody, and then we gained 2 or 3 more of those big accounts. So
yep,
that's how it works.
Yeah,
several years ago, 15 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And that comes to
same with laundry.
If you are doing a larger client for laundry, you really should have them sign a contract, especially if you're buying bins and, hiring extra labor. You just need them to stay with you for a certain period of time so you can make your money back from the items you purchase and to keep your facility going.
Exactly. And then when you're concentrating on that one customer, you seem to just be concentrating on that one customer. And then if that one customer leaves, then you're like, oh, I'm starting over. Be careful. That's the way we see it. Mm-hmm. So we do a lot of residential laundry, horse blankets, Airbnbs, gyms, spas, hospitality, anything hospitality. And we're getting some restaurants where we're doing some tablecloths and
napkins.
Yeah.
Just really anything that you can think of, we'll do within reason. We've had some strange requests before. I won't say those on air, but
I'm sure you have. No, I think I think the advice you just gave is like hard-earned, super valuable advice, right? Of like not relying. I've seen so many small businesses do this, not just in our industry, but in others, where they have one main client. A lot of times that main client gets very demanding or neat because they just know they have leverage over you. And so now you're focusing more and more attention on them. And like you were saying, if you're not constantly building your pipeline and nurturing your pipeline of new clients coming in, doing your marketing, reaching out, cold call, whatever it is, if that main client dries up, like you said, you're starting over, right? And it takes time. We've talked about this a couple of times already. Like it takes time to ramp these things up. And so you can't really afford to start and stop on that. It has to be ongoing.
Just like that, you can lose a client and then you're scrambling. I like to think that, we've learned our lesson from the past because we've done that. We're spending so much time with this one client, and then they let you go, and then you're starting your business over again. You're starting over. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And we've actually let clients go before because sometimes it doesn't matter what you do. I've done it myself and they'll still complain. They're just that particular client that's always going to call and complain and just drain everything from you. So sometimes, it is best to cut a client and just move on. In my opinion.
No, I think that's super wise. And it could be really hard to do, especially if you're starting out, right? It's like you just kind of take what you can get, but
that's true. Yeah.
You get to a point where, we kind of talked about like your return on headache is not worth it, or even just like the cost. Sometimes, people are demanding things that just are not feasible at the price point that offered them, right? And so
absolutely,
I'd rather fire a bad customer who's causing 80% of my headaches and taking up, 20% of my time, but is only, 4% of my revenue, and go out and spend that time and money and effort and go find better clients that fit better. Absolutely. That's really hard to do early on, for sure.
It is. And early on you're excited, and I had one lady call and she's like, what are you charging for a towel service? And so we charge anywhere between $1.89 to $2.19, depending on their turnaround. And, this customer was trying to beat her down to 69 cents a pound. I said, you're going to pay them to do their laundry. And she had to kind of take a step back, and she said, well, it's 300 pounds. I said, you're still going to pay them to do their laundry. And so she turned that client down, and I said, do not budge, figure out what price margin you can be at and don't go below that. I mean, you just can't do that. You're not the big box, with the tunnel washers. You just can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And actually, like, if you're in the negative on something like that, you're going to be like, literally, the more pounds they have to do, the bigger that revenue number. But we all know it's not the number of coins that are in the bucket. It's not the number of bills that are in the coin changer. It's what you're putting in your pocket, right? And so the more pounds they have, the more money it actually costs you, the more it takes out of your pocket. So it's like a double whammy there.
Exactly. Exactly.
Good advice. Good advice. That's, what's funny is that, like, a lot of this stuff that you guys are saying doesn't sound like these aha moments, but I just know what I've gone through. Like, I know this is like legit hard-earned wisdom that you're sharing right now that is really easy to gloss over this stuff and be like, oh yeah, whatever. But I know what's behind these lessons that you're sharing here of, we've learned these lessons, we've made this mistake, and what it takes to rebound from that stuff. So kudos to you guys for, building what you've built, and because I know it's not easy to do it. You guys make it look easy and fun because you're fun people and you've got a lot of experience behind you. But I know the fight it was to get to this point, for sure.
It was.
Yeah, it's been a journey, but like you said, what we think is common sense today, it wasn't common sense 20 years ago, 10 years ago, or even maybe 5 years ago. So we're always evolving, trying to learn from our past. And it's funny how much wisdom we have today compared to, and you have to have a thick skin in this business, believe me, because you're going to have customers cussing you. You're going to have, anything can happen, believe me, but you can have a flood. What are you going to do about it? You have to be ready for crisis at all times. You're in crisis mode. And it's funny about, what was it? Somebody broke in the laundromat, and Kelly goes, police are on the phone. Jody, you got to get over there at laundromat. I was like, okay. Hey, instead of getting all upset about it, it's just like, because there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. Just don't let your heart rate get up. Just go. And they go, oh, you're so calm about it. Well, no, I'm not really calm about it. It's just part of business. Unfortunately, it's an unfortunate part of business.
Yeah.
And it's just how you handle yourself, conduct yourself in front of others that will really help. If you're the calm guy in the room, it puts at ease everybody else around you, especially around your staff.
Yeah. Well, and even just saying that, it's funny because, I think I've talked about this like a long time ago, but like there were things about running my business that stressed me to the max when I first bought that first business that now I look back on and I'm like, I don't even know what I was worried about. Even things that are a big, like I had a period of time there where I was juggling bills, right? Like, do I pay the electric or do I pay the water this month for this laundromat? Cause it's losing money and I'm like out. Wow. Right. And just totally stressing me out. And, you know, if that was the case today, obviously there's like a lot of pressure that comes with that and stuff, but it's like, okay, let's get on the phone with both of those companies and just say, hey, here's the situation. Here's how we're going to remedy it. You know,
right.
Electric company, you don't have a ongoing interest rate. So I'm going to pay the water this month, keep my electricity on so I can keep paying you. You get yours next month, you know, whatever. Right. Like,
yeah,
but that's, you know, what you said, again, it sounds so like logical and easy, but that's hard-earned wisdom of probably stressing out 1,000 times about all these problems that stack up on you when you own a business, and then finally getting to a point where your skill set and your ability to deal with the problems has grown over the years. And now these problems that used to be a big deal, you're a bigger person now, so you can deal with bigger problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like when the water line busted under the floor, and Kelly's like, what are you going to do? I was like, I'm going to call a plumber. They're going to dig up the floor.
Our brand new floor.
Yeah. Our brand new floor. She said, I said, yeah.
What do you do? You have to fix it. So, I mean, you just have to find a way to move on. I mean,
but what she did was smart. She called the landlord and said, look, we just put our brand new floor down, and the plumber gave us a $7,000 quote just to dig this floor up and repair it, and we're gonna have to put it back together, and it's gonna cost us a fortune. He called her back and said, I'll pay for it.
I don't know who these landlords like, you got over there. Like,
I don't know. No, this guy, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he did it. But I was like, are you kidding me? Well, so don't be afraid to ask just because it's not in your lease. Don't be afraid to ask. They might just value you there so much. They don't want you to leave, and they don't want you to look at it. Not they want you to stay there, and they're showing good faith to you as well. Hey, we fixed this for you. Now he's going to come wanting something, I'm sure, but still, that was nice that he did that. He didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Things happen, but for the most part, we don't get that lucky. We didn't get that lucky in Nicholsville when that happened. We didn't get that lucky we don't get that lucky. But
yeah. But that's being a business owner, right? Like being an entrepreneur, being a business owner is like solving problems, right? Like that's what we do. That's what we do, right? We're building businesses, and our businesses solve problems for other people. And then when problems come up for us, we solve our own problems because there's no boss or corporation or anything behind us to solve the problem for us. We solve problems. Like that's what we do. And so flexing that muscle, developing that muscle grows us as people to be able to say, okay, well, let's call the landlord and see if the landlord will do anything. And if not, then we're just going to dig up the floor and handle the problem and get back to business, because that's what we do.
Absolutely. That's right. That's right. But don't be afraid to ask the landlord just because it's not in your lease. Always ask. They can always say no, or they can say yes. But it's also good to let your landlord, if you have a landlord, make them be aware of what you're putting back into the building. Always make them aware of that, and kind of document everything you do along the way. So if there is ever a major issue that comes up, like with their roof and they're slow to fix it, hey, look, man, I fixed the floor. You guys need to get on this roof now and fix this water leak. That's your responsibility. That's in the lease. And you're running my ceiling tiles up here and everything else,
Yep.
And the lights.
Yep. Yeah. Dripping on my customers. Come on. Yeah.
On my machine.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Here's the bill for $50,000.
Yeah, we had a laundromat we shut down because the whole back wall collapsed. Yeah, I was like, and we just put brand new equipment in there.
Awesome.
We signed a 20-year lease or 10-year lease, and I called him. I said, and I had 6 months after we signed the lease. We had 6 months if we wanted to decide to leave. Well, we're not leaving. This is a great place. Next thing you know, the entire ceiling just collapsed, and I was like, we're just gonna go ahead and get our stuff out of here, and we did. And we just got all the equipment. And Kelly goes, now we have all this equipment. Find another laundromat now. Hurry up.
Yeah, that's stressful.
Yeah.
That was stressful.
Payments that you're not making any money on.
So. Yeah. So we found a place for it. And
one thing's for sure, if you're in business for yourself, you never know what's going to come through the door and what's going to come out of you. So just be prepared and just roll with it the best way you can. And that's what we do.
Yeah, and have fun along the way.
Yeah. I think that's the best advice, right? Is like I'm sure we could probably swap stories back and forth all day long of like stuff that's happened in our laundromats or cleaning business or whatever. And like, there's no possible way to predict what's going to happen on any given day. Right. But if you can do it and have fun with it, like life is just better. Right.
It is. And people say, I've heard people say, well, laundry is a boring business. To me, it's really not. I mean, we have fun. I mean, just 3 weeks ago, a kid crawled up in our claw machine.
Oh, yeah. 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 He calls me, said, there's a kid in the claw machine. And I was like, I'm done with claw machines. That's the second time that's happened over 20 years. Yeah. No more claw machines. Got that damn claw machine.
We took them all out that week.
How much did it cost you to like actually claw them and get them out of there? And
he was able to figure a way.
His mom coaxed him back through the hole.
Before I had to call the fire department, I was like, God, get this kid out of there. He got out of there. I taped the machine. I unplugged it, threw it in the back immediately, and I went to every store and got rid of all the claw machines.
Just a teeny hole. I'm still not sure how the kid did it. He was a good sized kid.
Yeah, well, he looked good size. He looked like a good sized prize when he got in there.
Be like, sorry, Mom, you gotta pay to win them out. You gotta.
Yeah, he's sitting there playing with all the toys. He just came out with all the toys.
I was like, just take them.
Just take them. Don't sue us. Yeah. Dude.
Yeah, take
craziness.
You can take the claw machine with you.
Yeah. So be careful with those claw machines.
No more claw machines.
What's you guys have any, you guys have plans going forward? Are you trying to buy some other weird businesses? You trying to buy more laundromats? Are you just kind of taking deals when they show up to you? What's the plan here? Kelly, Joe Dan's looking at you. So what's the plan?
Ahead. No,
well, we're going to start building a couple more chalets in Gatlinburg. We've got some lots there. So we'll do that.
I'm not saying that I'm not turning down any opportunities. We actually run across them, but I'm pretty content where we are. What I really want to do is grow the OPL business more than anything. And I do enjoy that because you can go out and develop more relationships with business owners. And that's one thing I miss. In the laundromat setting, you're not getting business relationships. So now I can go out and I can speak to doctors' offices or spa owners and collaborate with them, have a conversation and hopefully get their laundry. So getting out in the community in that way is fun. We're looking to do a coat drive for in the laundromat, and I'm trying to set up at our new store to get Santa Claus to come in and take pictures and put like our little Splash Mount logo at the end. And I want that to be free. I don't want to charge the kids. We've had that before. I can't find that Santa Claus. I don't know where he went. He disappeared. But
it's like Bad Santa. No, I'm just kidding.
That's a great idea. Maybe we should just do a Bad Santa in there. They look like a guy holding a bottle,
bottle of
bourbon.
Let's not do that.
Bourbon, yeah.
Free bourbon.
Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah.
Free bourbon for the parents.
Yeah,
for the parents.
Yeah, but we're always looking for opportunities. I'm not going to say that not looking necessarily, but we'll take them if they. It's funny when I go prospecting for laundromats, we always find something. We always do. And sometimes we'll get the buzz to go out there and look. And we were negotiating one in Louisville, Kentucky. We said earlier, but that guy did not allow us to come in there. He did not want the laundry. The laundry gave the shopping center such a bad reputation that he didn't want one back.
He just wanted it gone.
Usually you can show him our website and what we do and tell him come to our locations, but that didn't even work on that guy. So he's just done.
He's
but
burned.
Yeah, we're constantly looking for opportunities, I guess, for the most part.
Mm-hmm. And we'd like to expand. So now that we have 2 technicians working for us.
Oh, yes.
We would, we're going to expand our service.
Yes. The service is the biggest thing. So we've got the technicians going, and once they get used to working on all of our equipment, we can branch out and fix others. And that would help other laundry owners as well.
Yeah, huge. I mean, there's a huge shortage of technicians all over everywhere.
Yes,
so that's massive. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, I think at some point, like when you get that first business off the ground, you find that first deal or whatever, it kind of opens your eyes to other deals. And, some people can look around all over the place, under every rock and up every tree, and can't find a deal for anything. And some people, it feels like deals just fall out of the sky, but kind of like everything else, man, like it's kind of a skill that you develop, like, kind of what to look for. And you're also getting connected with people, right? And deals have everything to do with connections. And so that's what I liked about what you were saying about the OPL stuff, is like getting back out there, talking to business owners, talking to people who are movers and shakers in the community, maybe grabbing some business, but who knows what other opportunities pop up because of it. And that's what it's about, right? If you're somebody who's wanting to pick up some assets, do some deals, that's what it takes, man, to get those reps.
Absolutely. And where I said we're like in the streamline here, and then you have the big box stores up here, and then the laundromats. Well, I've noticed by going out in the community, showing them what we do, and they're like saying, well, like Centos won't even talk to us. Neither will Advantage Linen, because we're too small for them. And then we don't want to take all this to a laundromat. It's taking us all day long to wash all these clothes. I said, well, we have a solution for you. We can pick it up and deliver it back to you. And so you see that we're in that gray area that could really help a lot of small businesses and customer-owned goods, like all their residential customers as well. So you
and back to the point where laundromats had a bad stigma for a while. Now that the stigma is going away about laundromats, I feel like that's going to help the drop-off service in store as well as the pickup and delivery, because you're getting rid of that bad stigma.
Yes.
Yeah. I've got 2 more questions for you. Okay. Number one is, I did a survey one time, just everybody that's in like all my different audiences and stuff. And I was like, hey, what's your goal with a laundromat? You want to own 1 or 2? You want to own like 5 or 6? You want to own 10 plus, right? And I forget the percentage. It was like a crazy, like 90+% were like, I want to own 10 plus laundromats, right? Like everybody's goal is to own all these laundromats and stuff. But I'm curious from you guys, is, people who've owned multiple businesses doing this. Do you have any advice for maybe like the 1 to 3 store owner who wants to scale? Like, what's the difference between running one business or 2 versus running, 10 or businesses in different industries and things like that? You got any advice for that? Like to scale up?
Well, I think you have to do the first one really well and learn from it, in my opinion. Sometimes the second one comes sooner than you expect. And of course, you can't turn down the opportunity. But for me, I think the larger we've become, the easier it is for us to scale, because the more people is more resources you have to run your business well.
Yeah. And I think being very opportunistic, and like we said earlier, when you're first starting, you don't want to turn anything down, but at the same time, if you see an opportunity out there, you need to grab it regardless of what it may be. Yeah, you might have to work a little bit harder right now, but you're looking at the end game. So, but like Kelly said, it's a lot easier from our perspective to run nine or 10 laundromats than it was to run 1 to 3. It really was.
And I would also say, take your time when hiring your employees.
Yeah.
Just because you might be 3 bodies short, don't just hire that first person that comes through the door. Yes, you might have to work a double shift tomorrow or the next day or pay overtime. Trust me, it's worth it. Take your time and find the correct person.
But Jordan, I'll tell you one thing we did, and Kelly and I got together one day and we were like, what if we had 0 employees and we had to open up all the stores? What would we do? Well, we took care of that. We put lockers in all of our laundromats. We put garage doors down when we have the card system. So we have it to where if it wanted to run without an attendant, it will.
Mm-hmm.
So that was huge. And everything, the doors open up automatically. The alarm system shuts off automatically. The lights come on. Well, we keep the lights on at all times. That's a big mistake I think laundry owners make is they turn off the lights at the end of the night. Keep them on. You want it to stay on. Turn off the open sign, but keep the lights on.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know if that's enough advice for you, but
yeah, no, I think that's great. I mean, the common theme, right, is, to scale. I mean, it takes two main things, right? It takes the right tools and resources, automation, that kind of stuff, and the right people. And the technology side of it is easy, right? Like, if you're looking for the right tech stack to scale your business, just shoot me an email or, shoot Joe, Dan, and Kelly an email. They can tell you the right tech stack, right? That's easy. But it's really the people, right? So what it comes down to is, and like you said, like it's really hard when you're feeling that pressure because you're understaffed and you're either having to put more on your employees or you're having to pick up slack yourself and you don't really have a whole lot to give. But I always think back to the employee that I hired because I needed help cleaning my laundromat. She was just supposed to be cleaning. And I showed up at the laundromat one day and she's out front screaming in the face of one of her customers for, I don't even know why or whatever. Like I had to let her go right on the spot, like, right. And a bad hire will cost you way more than waiting to hire the right person.
You have that
sure.
Right.
So.
All day long. Yes. Being very careful with who you hire. Kelly's right. You're right. Yeah. That's why I don't do the hiring. That's why.
So, we do the 2-step hiring, they come in for the first interview and then a second interview.
Yeah.
So that's how we do it. We never hire on the spot.
Yeah. Somebody came.
Are those both with you?
The first time it's usually with me at our corporate office. And the second time I will meet them at one of our stores and do the interview with them at one of the stores. That way they can see more of a hands-on approach as to what position they're going to be taking or in our OPL or wherever it is.
Yeah. She's taken over the hiring process. We don't let anybody hire but her. She enjoys doing it.
Oh, I love doing it. No, I really don't. That's my least favorite part of the job.
Yeah.
When it's hard, right? It's like there's no science to it. If it was easy, I mean, you could probably create a course on exactly how to do it and sell it for $1 million.
That's why I like automation.
Yeah,
that's
right.
I
like robots and automation.
That's right. You don't have to deal with the people because it is the hard part, really, and like getting them trained and keeping them motivated and building that culture, like all that stuff it's difficult to do. But if you can get that formula right, your business becomes a lot easier. It, like you said, it's easier now to run all these businesses than it was to run 1 to 3, right? Your business could be easier, more profitable, more fun. Jodan, like your common thing was like, hey, have fun doing it, right? Like it's a lot more fun when everybody on the team is the right person in the right spot. They want to be there. They're doing a good job. Makes everything a lot more fun.
Well, I have one more piece of advice for someone getting into the business new. I believe on your resource website, couldn't they get in a masterminds group? If I got in a masterminds group, 25 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, I can't imagine how much further I would be with all the advice of the like-minded people who are in that group. It's unreal. And the resources you have from one another. So I highly suggest you can start out with one or two people, whatever it is. You can go to Jordan, find out through Laundromat Resource and find some people. I don't know. But I think it's huge. It's kind of like that's why we sit there and we're always like trying to watch the YouTube. But whenever I'm on a masterminds group call, it's amazing the nuggets you pick up every time I'm on that call.
Yeah, and it really like ups your level, right? It's like it gives you different perspective on your business. You can learn, all it takes is one little idea to,
absolutely start in
revolutionize your business, right? Like you can really do that. And I mean, I like invest a lot of money and time and effort into being in a couple different mastermind groups, because when you're hanging out with people who are doing big things, it's almost like that making peer pressure work for you, right? Like you're going to be doing bigger things. You're going to elevate your level too when you're hanging out with people doing bigger things. So
absolutely.
I think that's great advice. Great advice. Awesome. All right. Last question I have for you guys before I let you wrap this up, and, go spend the rest of your 25-year anniversary without me. I don't know.
We're not celebrating that today.
If people want to get more from you, if they want to see more about what you got going on, they want to check out your social stuff, like tell us where everybody can find you.
Splash Them Out Laundry on YouTube, Splash Them Out on Insta, Splash Them Out on Facebook, and
Jodan the Laundryman.
Jodan the Laundryman on TikTok. Jodan the Laundryman on TikTok. And then if you want to find me personally on LinkedIn, Jodan Reed, LinkedIn, Kelli Reed, Kelli with an I, and I'm easy to get. I'm easy to find. You can DM me. I will call you if you need anything. I'm here for anything. I enjoy this industry, and I look forward to meeting many people, and I want everyone to be successful, and we're here to try to help. And that's why we have our channel. We just I report, you decide, basically, is what our channel, and that's probably what we should name the channel, is because we just basically we report what we do. You can decide if you want to do it or not. I may have an opinion on one thing or another, but I don't believe there's any right way or wrong way to do this business. And I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way to get in the business. Everybody has their own lane, their own wheelhouse, and the way they like to do things. So I believe there's a lot of opportunity out here, and don't be a thinker, be a doer, and then think.
Love it. I love it. Kelli, I'm just curious, do you also ascribe to that motto, that slogan, or are you more of a thinker, just out of curiosity?
I would say I think more, honestly. Sometimes he goes too fast, but
I put the cart ahead of the horse, and I try to catch up.
That's what I do too. That's what I do too. It's good having somebody to balance you out, though.
I really
awesome,
do.
Guys. Yeah. Well, listen, I appreciate you guys taking the time, especially on this most special day of your relationship, more special than your wedding anniversary, and spending it with me. No, I do appreciate you guys coming on and doing this. And I mean this, I appreciate you guys' channel and what you're doing over there. If you guys are not subscribed or following or whatever you do on all the different platforms, Splash Them Out or Jodan the Laundryman, make sure you're doing that. We'll have links to everything in the show notes, or if you're on YouTube, they'll be down below so that you can just click right on over and check out their channel. Guys, you guys are rock stars. You're all stars. Not only probably the most fashionable couple that I've had on the podcast, but just packed full of wisdom. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to share and hang out with me.
Well, we appreciate you.
We appreciate you having us, Jordan. It's always a treat. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let's not make it so long until the next time we do this or something like this. Yeah, yes, awesome. Absolutely. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Hope you loved that episode with Jodan and Kelli. I know you did, because they were a lot of fun and they gave a ton of great information. So listen, as cool as that was, it will have been a waste of your time if you don't pick something, put it into action this week. Take a little nugget. There's tons of them all throughout there. Put it into action. Those actions are really going to help you accomplish your goals, whether that's financial freedom or leaving your 9-to-5 or just building your cash flow or just building your empire, whatever your objective is. Got to get out there and take some action. All right. So get out there and we'll see you in the next interview. Peace.